My name is Sherry Picou, and I represent food fishers actually right now, an Indigenous group in Nova Scotia. It's a small community, and it's the Mi'kmaq First Nation are my people. And we're trying to get access to for a livelihood. Right now it's just food. This is despite winning a well-known court case in 1999 that gave us a moderate livelihood to fishery. That's known as the Marshall decision, and I suppose that's a challenge. And the small community is probably about 300 people. About 300 people.
Good.
Yeah.
And what other issues and challenges do you face as an organisation?
The issues and the challenges that we face is that the only way into the fishery is you go into the current regulatory regime. And even though we have this treaty right to do so, to access the fish, we choose not to go that route because it is so corporatized and it's undergoing privatization as we speak. And of course, 10 years ago compared to now, there's species dying out. The groundfish there's low stocks and so forth. So we're trying to figure out a way to go in without too much damage and figure out some ethical marketing things, how to do that. And it's just very, very difficult because privatization is very big in Canada.
Fantastic. And why is your organisation a member of the WFFP, and what kind of relationship do you have?
Well, for the last 6-7 years I had no choice because I'm the co-chair, and I'm looking forward to stepping down this week when they have the new elections. But initially why we joined WFFP was well, I had the opportunity to meet Thomas Cocherre. He was in Nova Scotia, the late father Thomas Cocherre, and I heard him speak. And when I heard him speak, he spoke such truth. And I was wondering why he was still alive, because he was calling it as he saw it, you know, globalization, speaking about the poor. And I seen the WFFP Constitution, the preamble to it. And it was exactly in line with my community's Bear River First Nation. It was just exactly in line where we wanted to go in terms of a livelihood. And that's how it started. The second thing is why we joined, because we had no voice in Canada. Because when Marshall had happened, how the government responded when the Supreme Court decision had happened, giving us that treaty right, the government had responded through fishery agreements. And basically, it was just an agreement that you're going to fish according to what was there. And because of the poverty and because of the long history of colonialism that many communities went through, a lot of communities signed on to those fishing agreements, and there was all but 3 at the time. Now there's just 2 that would not enter that fishery. So even our own organizations, the agenda, the priorities had shifted to, you know, how do we integrate into the commercial fisheries? So we were you know, just sidelined. That was tough. If you don't want to fish, fine, you can, you know. And so this is why, at least with the World Forum of Fishery Peoples, we found a voice. We only had to explain our story once. It was at a General Assembly in Kenya in 2004, and that was it. We've been family ever since.
Okay, and so what is it your organisation brings to WFFP?
I think it's very strategic. That it's sometimes frustrating, but being very strategic, being from Canada, because as well known, Canada has always portrayed itself as this highly democratic, very follows human rights, like a highly democratic country that follows human rights and so forth. And I don't think the world realizes the atrocities and what's happening within Canada with marginalized groups, and particularly the Indigenous people. And also we were very strategic in the guidelines because Canada was one of the ones that was kind of leg and wooden support and so forth. So it was good that we had, you know, we mobilized some other Canadian fishermen to be there. So that was really good. And I think also we also can show the rest of the world, because Canada is one of those countries that holds up the ITQ system as a model for other developing countries to follow, and we're saying no, no, no. Here, this is what's happening in Canada.
That's great.
Okay.